What's up, fight fans? It's your man 3K the Boss, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. You already know what it is. Alright, man, it's unfortunate that I must do this, that I have to do this, that I have to speak on topics like this. These are the things that we consistently say are exhausting the sport of boxing. These are the things that we say are transforming the sport of boxing into Barnum and Bailey. If you aren't familiar with who Barnum and Bailey are, you know they run a thing called a circus act. Biggest circus show in the world, as a matter of fact, or so I've heard, or at least in America at least. But not to get off track, when I'm looking at these two individuals right here, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, who engaged in warfare inside of the squared circle, they've had two previous engagements. The second one over the weekend, where Tyron Woodley was knocked out.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah. Damn. I feel like a dog died. Look like Freddy Krueger got him.
He stink. That's how they smell after a while. I wonder why I take them people so long to pick them up.
What the fuck you think, motherfucker?
A lot of people had a lot of things to say. Some very positive, as well as some negative. And some we could possibly even say are just trolling.
He needs some milk.
Just looking for clout.
Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. What they trying to do is they trying to get that money again with Pacquiao and Floyd. But it's cool. I ain't worrying about it. I'm still that nigga, man. I'm on top. Cincinnati, stand up. West Side, 2-5.
You're 3-3-1 in your last 7 fights. What will you do next?
Hey, I'm 3-3-1 my last 7, but I'll be 7-0 against you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Well, there's one particular person we're speaking of here. And that person would be Leveon Bell. It just so happened on Twitter that Leveon Bell said, "I'm tired of watching Jake Paul outbox people who don't even want to box. If you really want a boxing match, a real one, he'd fight me, period. Stop fighting small dudes who can't box." So Tyron Woodley responds, "'Cause I made one mistake. You think it's sweet? Don't get it fucked up, homeboy." So the homie, Leveon Bell, comes back and said, "You made more than just one mistake. He just slept you for the last mistake you made."
Gotcha, bitch.
It's kind of cold-blooded, I must say. But Tyron Woodley responds, "See a person courageous enough, to go into battle, and you use that and try to throw your name in there for a bag? Without making that walk? Bruh. That's defined as clout chasing. I'm just surprised that it's coming from you."
Gotcha, bitch.
Well, Tyron's surprised. And quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised. Because, when you're a football player, you held to a certain regard and respect, and doing things for clout isn't necessarily some things that you do. But besides all of that, it's just funny to me. It's just funny to me how this thing has ushered in football player, basketball player, freaking, any YouTube personality you possibly could think has now officially entered the boxing ring. And now to the casual world who pays attention to these spectacles, they don't perceive these guys as the casuals entering the ring.
No, sir.
They're starting to look at these guys like real boxers. They're looking at them as real spectacles. They're looking at this as a way that their favorite celebrities or their favorite social media interests can now engage in fisticuffs, and they can see them in some form of warfare for all of the, tap dancing, all of the trolling, and all of the bullshit antics that they've made their monetization from for years on end. Since the infancy of YouTube. Now the funny thing about boxing was always reserved for the real. Boxing would bring in casual fans. It didn't matter who you were. It's kind of that, that Michael Jordan mystique. It didn't matter where you were in the world. If you never heard a jump shot, if you never seen anybody fly from the free throw lane, one hand in the air, you know what I'm saying? Statue of Liberty and that shit. For the slam dunk. you would still know who MJ is. Mike Tyson's had that same kind of presence. Muhammad Ali had that same kind of presence. Sugar Ray Leonard had that same kind of presence. Now this shit is becoming Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, you know, psycho type killer broad in the shower spooky, man. Bates Motel type vibes. I'm saying that because when we talk about boxing, we have to understand that, yo, this is a dying profession that needs hella life breathed back into it. The biggest problem with most hardcore boxing fans, and the biggest problem that people just, you know, can't deal with, a lot of people in the YTBC, just a lot of people who've been down with boxing, is the fact that the life that's being breathed into it isn't coming from your Errol Spencers of the world, isn't coming from your Javante Tank Davis of the world, isn't coming from, you know, your Terrence Crawfords of the world, even though Terrence Crawford's doing all the right things. It isn't coming from any of the big names you can think of in the sport, outside of the two usual suspects. The life that is being breathed into the sport is coming from the actions of a Jake Paul, the knockouts of a Jake Paul. They aren't coming from anywhere else. And they are bringing celebrities who have mass followings from other sports into this atmosphere, and they're breathing in more life into it. Because the one thing that seems to be very tangible in the entire whole world is the drama. The drama. People love the bullshit. So, if the bullshit is going to translate from individuals outside of their profession into this profession that we love, and it's getting more praise than anything, you know, Artur Beterbiev might have done over the weekend, or anything that any other fighter might have done over the weekend, or the great things, you know, Nito Donaire has done in his Cinderella period of his boxing career. Like, yo, that's the problem. And see, this is going to be the constant as long as people aren't willing to intermingle and do what they have to do. So do I have a problem with it? Absolutely not. No, I am here just as a mere vessel, just reporting the fuckery. And I have no problem with the fuckery. Bring it on. If it's bringing more eyes to the sport, if it's bringing more casuals to see a Jake Paul or any other celebrity knock somebody out and then they become fond of a real boxer, that's cool with me. Now, speaking on the tweets, Tyron Woodley is absolutely right. It was kind of tasteless for, you know, Leveon Bell to jump out there knowing we haven't seen him do not one thing with his freaking hands other than grab a football and run with it, and then put down the football and sit himself on the sideline for the entirety of a year while trying to, you know, hold out for a big payday off of a superior year he had for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that shit freaking kind of backfired on him, and then he ends up on the freaking Jets. The Jets, of all places, they kept him for a stint of 2 years. His play goes downhill even more. And then where do they pass him off to? They pass him off to the freaking Chiefs. And you know the Chiefs have this thing that, like they did with Calvin Benjamin and other individuals. They bring guys who are superior in their skill set, who have fallen off, and then they'll happen to pick them up, bring them on their superior offensive squad, and try to, you know, make something up.
I'm the king of the world!
On the stop, 2.
Back down there, boy!
Well, Le'Veon Bell didn't make absolutely anything of himself. So, you know, he's literally a dying star in the sky. That is the NFL. Now, in knowing these things, yeah, bruh is doing this for clout, and I'm sure he is absolutely thirsty to get in there and get that Jake Paul payday, no matter if he throws a windmill or he throws an overhand right to get it.
You're killing me, man!
My problem is, bro, you know, you just don't generate the interest for me, bro, and I just think it's kind of fucked up for you to try to go with Tyron Woodley like you're the end-all, be-all, and you're the one that's going to spark Jake Paul out. Yeah, you're a bigger specimen, but we know Tyron to fight. We don't know you to do anything but, you know, fight with the GMs of organizations and holding out trying to get the pay that you feel like you rightfully deserve.
You're killing me, man!
Now, all of that hopscotch from team to team has led him into trying to jump into the arms of a Jake Paul payday and letting Jake Paul be the pappy.
I don't know why the fuck I dropped my hand and I did.
Hey man, some crazy shit. Now, I'm not here to fight fans to shit on the impulsive one. I'm not here to shit on Tyron Woodley himself, former UFC champion, a guy who's had amazing defense for the entirety of the time he was there. And then eventually, after, after fighting that Nigerian nightmare, everything just got really, really bad for him.
You're killing me, man!
And Kamaru Usman. So when we look at all of these things, I would have to say, I'm kind of thankful of Jake Paul in the sense of, I'm looking at the atmosphere and I'm looking at the people that's surrounding Jake Paul, and good for him. If that's the type of atmosphere he's bringing in the boxing ring, if it's real, hey, that's what's up. And if it's bringing real fans, that's even more what's up. It's just, man, I'm calling this an outcry for boxers and boxing alike to, to be more personable, to, start making advantages and start paying attention to what's really going on out here, how to market yourselves in a better way. Use these free tools as Twitter, Instagram, YouTube to build yourself up. Talk more shit, show more sides of yourself that your family would see when you at a backyard barbecue or you slapping dominoes, playing spades, or shooting pool or whatever, chilling with your boys. But you guys have got to do something, and it's got to start now because, hey, man, low-key, it's infuriating. But honestly, man, I can't hate on, Leveon Bell, Tyron Woodley, and Jake Paul, and the future of Jake Paul being a bigger conversation than what any other boxer has going on in boxing right now. So all I'm saying is, I need to hear more about Errol Spence ducking Terrence Crawford than I need to hear about Jake Paul. It's a sad situation. I need to hear bigger outcries about those who cheating, the PD users and getting passes. But those are other situations. All I'm saying is, we have to direct our fandom in the right places, put our energy in the right places, and, start supporting our fighters so they'll get that outcry instead of Leveon Bell and Tyron Woodley getting it. As we always say at the end of the shit, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind.